If you're in Western Queensland or southern parts of the country, you know Australia is in the grips of a heatwave, but this one is record-breaking. Today, Adelaide hit 46.6 degrees, the hottest temperature ever recorded in a capital city.
It didn't take long for these early morning joggers to break into a sweat.
Man, it's hot, eh?
Overnight, Adelaide's so-called minimum was 31.1 degrees, setting the scene for a scorcher of a day.
The scale, duration and intensity of the heat wave is quite unprecedented in Australia. It is quite unusual to see this amount of heat.
Just after lunch, Adelaide broke its 80-year-old temperature record, and the heat peaked at 46.6 degrees. It was even hotter further north. Port Augusta broke its record, set last week. And while it might have felt like 51, the official top was 49.5.
Ridiculous. Very, very hot. Very hard to cope with.
In all, more than 20 locations smashed their all-time highs. In Adelaide, there were delays to trams and buses. Ticketing systems couldn't handle the heat. Transport officials were handing out free bottles of water to commuters, and others had no choice but to keep working.
Just keeping fluids up and keep chipping away.
But it's not just those building homes who suffered. Those without them were particularly vulnerable. Homeless services like the Hutt Street Centre have extended their opening hours.
This is the toughest time for them, and I think in the old days we used to think that actually the cold weather was the toughest thing. I actually think the heat is. Red
Cross volunteers made calls to people at risk. More than 40 people presented to hospital with heat-related illnesses. At this pub in Adelaide's north, they were self-medicating. Free beer once the temperature hit 45. The lineup outside was an hour long.
For a free beer.
While local Adelaideans are used to harsh summers, for some out-of-towners, the heat proved too much.
I've given him some nice cool vegetables so they come out of the fridge, and we also gave him a nice hose down.
The heat is expected to move east tomorrow. Ben Nielsen, ABC News, Adelaide.